Hey everybody, welcome back to the Badgerland Birding Podcast, bringing you birding news and stories from the Badger State and beyond. Today we're joined by 13-year-old birder Manny from Indiana. Manny, how you doing?
Good. Yeah.
So, when did you start birding?
Um, I've always been interested in birds ever since I can remember. But I lived in California up until I was 8, and really, I didn't have none of my family members or friends or anybody were birders. So I really don't know how I got into it, but mostly for a spark bird, I would say there were a lot of white-crowned sparrows and northern mockingbirds around my house, so that was pretty sweet, and, uh, I liked feeding the sparrows, and those kinda got me hooked.
So then you were
Yeah.
just like, I think I want to see more of these sorts of things.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
What was like
Mhm.
the big first one that you actually deliberately went to try to find? The first one where you were like, oh, that
Um,
got reported, so I'm gonna try to find it.
I don't know about being reported, but as far as I feel like I can remember myself as, like, a five-year-old kid saying, "I'm gonna go find this bird," like, something far out, like a I don't know, like an osprey in my neighborhood, something like that. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's
on
right.
TV, they find these ospreys, maybe I could go find one out in my yard."
So now do you go chase birds all over that get reported?
I try, but transportation is my main problem.
Yeah, that's gonna be that way till you're
Mhm.
16.
Yeah. I'm real excited to get my driver's license.
Yeah, I'm sure your parents are too. Then they won't have to take you
Yeah.
anymore, unless they
Yeah.
enjoy that part of the process.
So-so.
Oh no, just
Yeah.
so. I was
Do
gonna ask, have
you?
you gotten them into it at all?
Yeah.
Um, Hard to tell.
No.
Uh, in between.
So
Uh
when they're out with you, do they ever point stuff out there? Are they ever like, hey, look at that?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, sometimes my sister does too when she comes, and my little brother too. So, yeah, sometimes my dad just naps in the car though while I bird, but
Well, hopefully someday, you'll just be out birding and you'll be with your parents and they'll be like,
yeah.
that indigo bunting, that was a heck of a bird we saw. And then boom, hooked.
Oh, yeah. And then they're like, "Hey, what's that bird?" And it happens to be like a yellow-headed grosbeak or something.
And then they're like, Manny,
And
take
it's
us
their
to go
spark
birding.
bird.
We want to go birding.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have to drive them.
Exactly. It's the circle of life right there.
Yeah, that's probably how it's gonna be.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Derek, so you are at the WSO festival. How's that been going?
Convention. It's been good.
Festival.
We had a presentation from Amar virtually, who's like the one of the world's leading gull experts. She was talking about gull identification. And then today, me and well, I guess it was mostly Tom Schultz showed me where Franklin's gull was. So you got the scope on it, and we got to check it out. So that's always a fun bird to
Neat.
find. And
I
then
saw that you got
Amar,
out and went birding because I was looking at the rare bird alert and my needs alert, and I was like, Derek, you dirty dog, getting out there when you should be working.
that was work finding that Franklin's gull
Sure, it
that Tom
was.
Schultz
It was
showed
a
me.
lot of work. Put that
Uh,
on the
You can
expense
always
report.
what
you can
was that?
always call birding work. You can say, "I have to get this for my life list."
You say I have to get this or I can't come back to my actual job.
So I don't have a job yet, so
Count your blessings. It's terrible.
Enjoy it while it lasts. But Amar's coming to do like an in-person gull
Mhm.
identification workshop tomorrow morning. So I'm really hoping we find little gull because I still need that for the old life list.
I hope that he just brings a bunch of gulls. You know how people bring raptors in cages? I hope he has
Yeah.
gulls in cages.
He's like, "Here's my pet great black-backed gull."
Yeah, exactly. He's
Here's
like,
the
"Here's my
swallowtail
blue gull."
gull.
And I hope he
No,
just takes
act
them out of, like, a large
yeah.
crate and just puts them on a table, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Here's an ivory gull."
Actually, I was at a raptor presentation once, and this guy came out with a barred owl, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this guy lives in my backyard. I built a giant cage,
Hmm.
and my son takes care of him." And We just feed him mice every day, and he lives in our backyard.
I wonder if that's legal.
Me too.
He was like a raptor, like a falconer or something.
It would
Or
have been funny if he
Yeah.
was
just
a
some
random
random
guy.
guy.
He was just
Yeah.
like some other dad at the school was just like, oh, I found this barred
Yeah.
animal and
That'd be
just feed
funny.
him mice and
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
even
definitely
Owen
illegal.
Wilson for some reason. Like Owen Wilson was like, wow, found this barred owl and I just
Yeah.
take care of him.
Yeah.
So Ryan, where were you? You went out to Wyalusing with Chris and Colette, right?
Yeah, we had quite the adventure today. We left at like 4 o'clock, 4:05, and got to Wyalusing and hit on Kentucky warblers super quick, and then hit on ceruleans everywhere. So we got ceruleans below eye level. So there was three
Wow.
male cerulean warblers all fighting with each other, and they landed on sticks lower than we were. So we got to see the back of a cerulean warbler, which is weird because you usually see the
Wow.
underside because they're up
Yeah.
in trees. Got prothonotary warbler after that with similar looks that we had
Shorebird.
during the biggest week in American birding. So during the biggest week in American birding, they were just front and center, the prothonotary warblers, and same thing here. Then we went to spring green, got lark sparrow and tons of grasshopper sparrows, and then we went to Mazo to finish with Bell's vireo on Global Twitch Day. Twitched another vireo species.
Was that intentional for Global Twitch Day?
Yeah.
I saw the lark sparrow flagged, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's funny that you actually looked at that. I don't know why you looked at that.
I was just trying to see if anything rare showed up for the convention.
Well, that was
what do we
at
need to go see?
Mazo. So I don't know if they're usually at Mazo. They're usually at Spring Green, but that one was different than usual. I was surprised at Flag too, though.
Yeah, Manny, what did you see today?
Well, I didn't do much birding at all today. I was really busy, but I think a flyover fish crow was my best bird of the day.
Are those
Is that rare for your part of the
Yeah.
country?
They're pretty uncommon here, but you can when there's a big flock of Americans, you can usually pick out a fish.
There's a fish crow reported in northern Wisconsin today.
Yeah, if that thing gets confirmed, I think it's the first state record.
Really?
People have been saying for years though they probably come up and people just don't really put the time in
Yeah,
to
it's
figuring
true.
out if the fish grows or not.
Bayfield,
And a
like
lot of
in Bayfield, right?
I think so.
That's just
Ashland.
Ashland. That's just a really weird place for it to be. Like you'd think it would be in the southern part of the state, not the north.
You know who found it or whose house it's coming to is the same guy I think that found the tundra bean goose in
Yeah,
Iowa.
Ben Baldwin.
Yeah.
I saw he also reported a female painted bunting too.
He's all over the place.
He's getting everything.
He and Ryan Brady
Wow.
have the two most competitive yard lists, probably.
That's got to be you one day, Manny. You have the super awesome
I'm
yard
gonna
list.
try for that. Yeah.
What's your strategy?
Well, maybe just be outside as much as I can and look for flyover migrants, I guess.
He's the flyover
Put up
guy.
an NFC station.
I was gonna say that's the way to do
Yeah.
it. We were talking to one of our friends, Ty, and he was saying that he records stuff and then has to go back and listen to all of it and identify it.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah. Have you ever heard of like the haiku box? I was
We
wondering if that
tested the
would.
haiku
Yeah.
box actually.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was how some people ran their NFC stations, but
So
I hope
I
not.
find it doesn't really pick up stuff at night very much, which I was kind of hoping it would, but I feel like it's more just working during the day, it seems.
yeah. Going
Okay.
back to Little Gull though. The Little Gull is something in that episode where you birded in Indianapolis. That's
That's
a
true.
bird you tried for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like how he just calls you out. He's like, "Yeah, you couldn't find it in
He's
Indianapolis."
twisting the knife.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll lead up to a good thing tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe so.
A little gull's uncommon in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're yeah, we don't have many gull species in central Indiana at least. I mean, in winter we get like I'd say 4 reports of lesser blackbacks in central Indiana and like probably one great black-backed, but then the rest are just ring-billed and a few herring.
So
Yeah, we're kind of
question
lucky in
question for
Wisconsin.
you, Manny. I
Oh, go ahead.
know
Mhm.
that you are in the solar eclipse like totality.
Yes.
Did you go see it?
Mhm. I just saw it from my backyard.
And it
Um,
totality, right?
yeah, in
Did go see
totality.
it.
That's awesome.
I did go see it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I noticed the only real weird bird activity I noticed in that was like some turkey vultures roosting, but that's still something.
No, I'm surprised how many random birds sing at night still. Because
Yeah.
you don't know this either, Derek. I went out looking for some rails the other day with our friend Tim, and we had calling Henslow sparrow and field sparrow just randomly at like 10 o'clock.
Well, remember when we were looking for the aurora borealis, we had what was it, clay colored and then field. Just
Yeah, that
randomly.
isn't strange though. What are they up to?
I don't know. Maybe they're confused.
What do they know that we don't?
Maybe birds are so competitive they're having to call at night to defend their territory. They can't just call during the
Maybe.
day anymore.
Or find a mate.
Maybe a
That's
night
true.
mate.
Those are actually just the strongest, smartest ones. They're on the grind. They have the daily grind set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no break.
Manny, what's the coolest memory you have of seeing a bird?
I think maybe when I was in last summer, I was in Virginia for just uh like a few days, and we went to this boardwalk in my family, and I saw an osprey, and there was a pretty thin creek, like about uh, a yard and a half long, and not very deep, and this osprey was just soaring around, and I thought for sure that that thing would just leave and it would not dive in that deep of water. But it was there to prove me wrong. And when I was pretty close to the creek, it dove down pretty much right in front of me and got a pretty big fish and got out. So I got the close up view of the dive and catch.
Nice. You're a big osprey guy, aren't you, Manny?
I'm I just mentioned ospreys a few times, but
Hey, there's
I
no
guess
shame
that
in it
was
if you're a
just
big
the
osprey guy.
I ospreys are amazing.
He's a big
I have
osprey guy.
He's totally an
I
osprey
guess
guy, you can
I guess I
tell.
am an osprey man.
An osprey man.
An
You
osprey
gotta
guy.
wait till you can at least
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, ospreys are really cool. Actually, saw
Yeah.
some on a nesting platform today.
Too bad
I
we
Oh,
couldn't
think
that's
see
neat.
you during our big day.
yeah. Manny, we did a big day and we got a really nice species total, but we missed on some
Mhm.
really easy things like osprey.
Ah, yeah.
Just
Just
didn't see
never
it for
showed
some
up.
reason. Yeah, we didn't make any special tries for it. We thought it would just pop up.
Well, you don't, it doesn't feel like one you have to. Normally they're just
Uh,
around.
Yeah, it's true. What was your total?
are you at liberty to reveal it?
I don't
Should we
know if we
mention it?
can because there'll probably be a video
Okay.
reveal, but it was over 100.
Okay,
I can
okay.
tell
It
you
was
that.
over
It
100.
was over
It
100.
shattered my
Well,
best
that's
ever
pretty
big
good.
day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we did a lot of driving.
Yeah. It's like the first year total except in migration, so
So it's
Yeah.
even
yeah,
crazier.
so it's doubly better.
It's much harder to plan out too, because you have to catch
Yeah.
so much random stuff. During the first of the year, you only have so many things that you have to try to think about doing.
Yeah.
But then during the big day, you're thinking about nesting species and migrating species and trying
Mhm.
to go where there's gonna be the most migration. And there's just so much more to think about.
Yeah. Mhm.
For sure. Manny, where's the next place? Like, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go to see birds?
Well, I would love to go to South Texas,
It's a
but
good choice.
also South Florida would be really fun, especially with all those rarities popping up there all the time. And out of the country, I mean, I would always love to go to Colombia, but be his
Get some
highest
coffee.
species total. Yeah, but also
Country growth, Manny.
I'd also love to go to somewhere in Europe to get some of those fun species, and India would be fun.
Oh, India, did you say?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
you
there's
said
some of
Indiana.
the
I'm
best
like, you're already
species
there,
ever.
man.
You're like, we need to
Yeah.
talk about how that's not actually out of the country for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some of the best places to go birding in Indiana? I'm not super familiar with that state in terms of
Well,
birds.
Indiana Dunes is pretty much the best place. But besides that, here in Marion County, central Indiana, is pretty much the second best place in Indiana, Eagle Creek Park. And you can get tons of species there. And there's pretty much there's quite a few rarities there. And it much like the Indiana Dunes, you can get a lot of migration action.
So is Indiana Dunes mostly a spot for migration, or are there stuff nesting there that's kind of signature species?
Um, it is quite good for migration and getting a lot of the like Michigan species. But it's really good for warblers, kind of like Montrose Point,
Mm.
Illinois, at Chicago. But yeah, it is in that place. And as far as nesting species or specialized species, it's one of the best places, going to be one of the best places to get lark sparrow and some of those others, dune vegetation species.
So I'm assuming it's super sandy, right? If it's called Indiana Dunes.
Yeah,
So do you
yeah,
actually
there's
have
some
like
pretty
the
big
rolling
dunes.
dunes of sand? Like
Yeah.
you said, okay, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
You know, the weird place we went to was White Sands in New Mexico. It's
Weird.
kind of like how I picture Indiana Dunes being, but it is super bright white
Mhm.
sand pretty much
Yeah.
everywhere. So much so that when it was really sunny out, it kind of hurt your eyes to walk there.
Wow. Yeah.
You still have to make that video, actually. We
That's
hardly
that's
found any
true.
birds.
Yeah, it was. I feel like we saw more reptiles and
A
birds.
lot of lizards. A lot
Yeah,
of lizards.
but
Oh,
I imagine
I
it's kind of like Harrington Beach, maybe with kind of some of that sandy action.
think Kohler Andre is kind of more like that, actually.
Maybe I'd like to
Oh,
go to the festival there at some point.
the Dunes Fest, Dune
Indiana
Fest
Dunes. I think
2025.
it's going on now. I think,
Oh, is it?
or
It was
maybe
last weekend, I
yeah, it
think.
just happened. Maybe.
Yeah, it was like from oh, I can't remember. I think it was over Global Big Day, but don't quote me on that.
That's an
Gotcha.
interesting time to have it.
What's
Yeah.
what do you think the best warbler is?
Just in general, like in the
Yeah,
whole world.
just pick a best one.
That was kind of
U.S.
Cerulean.
not a
U.S.
left field question.
U.S. Manny
Cerulean.
said cerulean. That was fast.
Close second is Blackburnian, but
Yeah. One of our friends thinks that the Connecticut warbler is one of the top 5 most beautiful warbler species.
I can't really argue with that.
You think it's the
Connecticut's
most
are really
beautiful
awesome.
warbler species?
It is skulky and
That's
That's
not
not as
not
well
beauty,
known,
though,
but
man.
it
I like
is.
the words to describe, like a blackbirding warbler, like vibrant, bright,
Yeah.
beautiful, and the Connecticut warbler is like skulky, unfindable, secretive. It's like that's not beauty.
Yeah. Well, there's some awesome green hues in there, and the eye
Uh,
ring is really awesome.
wait, do you also then think Nashville warblers are beautiful?
They're pretty
He's
cool,
trapped.
He's
but
caught in his web of lies.
I mean, if you get like a bright spring male with like the chestnut on the head and all that, they can look pretty sweet, but I don't it's not the most beautiful warbler.
What's the worst warbler?
Oh.
He
I
didn't, he
think
didn't think we were gonna ask these kinds of questions.
Blackpoll warblers.
Ooh,
People.
there's some shade.
I
Is
a
it
little
their
bit.
feet?
I don't really. I'm not too excited when I see them.
Ouch.
I kind of feel that.
Well,
I
I
like
get
black
that.
hole warblers.
I mean, it's not like I hate any warbler. I love all warblers, but they're one of my least excited about species.
I kind of feel like palm is the one that people
Yep.
get used to.
Mm.
And they see the tail flick and they don't even look. They're just like, that's a palm warbler. They don't even
Yeah,
Kind of drab. They're kind of drab.
yeah.
Some are really
They are
vibrant
pretty
though.
good.
If they have like
You
the
can,
brighter
you can get
yellow
some
and
nice.
maroon.
Yeah,
You
those
know, if
poor
you
Westerners who
discount
get
kind of
the
like
browns.
rarity, orange crown warbler. There's not a lot going on there.
That's true. I mean, if you can get like a really good picture with the orange crown, you can actually kind of see all the colors there. But other than that, it's pretty drab.
I think we should actually rename it the beige warbler.
It's not beige though. It's like
Oh,
Yeah,
green.
but beige is like a dull color, you know, it kind of fits.
that's true.
It's like olive. And you can't call it the olive warbler.
I do think it's funny how they picked the most tiny features to name some of these birds by. Like orange
Yeah,
crown warbler rarely displays an orange crown. Red-bellied
yeah.
woodpecker, we know,
It's
barely has
all
a
it's
wood belly
all in
up.
the hand,
Ringneck
maybe.
duck.
Which
Yeah,
one?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's
ringneck
Ringneck
duck,
duck.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the ringneck duck was just confusing because it looks so much like a
yeah,
skunk. Like, what do you call that?
yeah, yeah. Just call it the ring-billed scaup.
Yeah, you could call it the ring-billed scaup.
We're solving problems over here.
I think that's pretty solid.
Or like the
Playing
crested scaup or something like that.
crested. I feel like the lesser also is kind of crested though.
Yeah, it's true, but not as much as the
It's true.
ringneck duck.
But then what do you do with tough duck?
Oh,
Yeah.
you could just
The ponytail.
mohawk duck.
Lump 'em? Just lump
Yeah,
'em?
yeah, just lump them.
Yeah, we lumped all the scaup with
Yeah.
tufted duck.
You
It'd
know
be
what? Let's
kind
go
of
a little
funny.
bit farther and lump canvasback and redhead while we're at it.
No, they're kind of adjacent. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the canvasback looks like the uncle that maybe adopted in the family to the redhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where
It'd
were
be
we?
kind of funny to do
What were
a
we
like
thinking?
rename, like having non-birders just lump things together. Be like, these are all little brown.
Yeah.
These are all like,
Well, you'd end up with like those there. Them are some seagulls.
yeah.
See all those
You'd-
things? Those are eagles.
Word on the street. I got some inside gull information. Is that
Hey.
herring gull is gonna get split into
Really?
American herring gull in the US and then like the European
Oh
one.
yeah.
It's just great to have an American herring gull.
Well, someone was
Yeah.
joking they should name it like the common seagull, so there actually was a seagull.
Yeah, that would solve a lot of people's confusion
That would.
and add to it.
I think that's just giving
Yeah.
people an out to not learn the real terminology, though. They're just like, I
No,
don't
no,
want to
no.
change.
That's not a seagull. That's a gull. That's a seagull.
Yeah,
I
you
thought he
don't
was
want to be
arguing
that
with your
guy.
point at first. I thought he was just about to like pop off on what you like, you're wrong. You're dumb.
Show me some ospreys.
I like the osprey.
What do you
Lump
think the
'em.
best backyard bird is?
My
Osprey.
Sometimes.
I don't have osprey. But I live pretty much smack in the city. So but I've gotten some pretty good birds. We have a bunch of pine trees in our backyard and front yard. So every year we get Cape May warblers, and Tennessees, but they're not partial to pines. And bay-breasted, which I haven't gotten yet this year. I think they're a little bit later, but they're pretty good bird.
Probably get some red-breasted nuthatches in wintertime too with those pines.
I haven't yet, but I've gotten. I mean, I get white-breasted occasionally, and I got a flyover bald eagle a few days ago.
Soon to have a flyover osprey.
Yeah, it has to be. I have to get one of those.
I could totally picture like some young birder convincing their parents to put in a pond because they want to try to attract ospreys to the backyard, like stock it with rainbow trout.
Yeah. Hey, Mom, Dad, can we buy all those houses over there? Tear them down.
I feel like that's what happens if you just have really disposable income. You're just like, I need the perfect habitat for the regal osprey.
Yeah, our friend Nathaniel was really dissing the ospreys because he said that he was sick of seeing them, and we were like, "How can you be
Oh,
sick of seeing ospreys?"
I don't know what to say about that.
There's not
That
much you can say about that.
yeah,
You guys
Except
are
that
gonna have
he's
to have a
wrong.
formal debate.
yeah,
You know, it'd be
yeah,
funny is if we got Nathaniel and Manny on, and we are like, "Welcome to the podcast," and we just said Ospreys, and then we both just
yeah,
muted ourselves, and then we can then go at it.
yeah. Ding, 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 end of round one.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. Other than that, around my neighborhood, I have a park. I mean, I shouldn't say I have. I mean, it's the cities,
Manny
but
Park.
there's a park called Spades Park, uh, just a few blocks down from me. So that's pretty cool. I bike down there a lot, and now I'm the top e-birder of Spades Park. I challenge anybody out there to come and
I like it.
uh, try to. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
Plant the
You
flag
know,
at
yeah, yeah,
Spade Park.
yeah. I challenge anybody out there, but yeah, I go down there a lot, and I've gotten some pretty good birds there. It's pretty
What's the
small.
next one that you want to get? What's the next target?
Um, um, that's tough.
Osprey
Like
again.
in Indiana.
Why don't we just go one with Indiana and one if you could go like anywhere in the world?
All
Which
right.
one would you say?
Um, anywhere in the world is easy. Oh, so for Indiana, definitely least bittern because
Yeah.
I love least bitterns. They're awesome, and I don't have one yet. So that would be awesome. And for all over the world, Philippine eagle
Okay.
would be pretty sweet.
I'm kind of feeling the Harpy Eagle. Harpy,
Oh,
just think about that experience it seems such a
oh
nasty
yeah,
after.
that's true.
Harpy
But
Eagle
I
might
could get
try to
the
pick
Harpy
up Manny
Eagle.
and take it back to the nest.
Then he
He
gets
might
eaten.
actually be in danger.
That's true. But the thing is with Harpy Eagle, I could get it in 50 years, but the Philippine might not be there in 50 years.
Depends how good we get at
So,
cloning.
what?
Depends how good we get at cloning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We could just like, oh, we can go extinct and then bring it back.
There's some species that is in the process of going extinct that they're already working, I think, in captivity of trying to.
Yakikiki?
Yes,
Is
that's
that
the
what it's
one.
called?
Yep, yep.
Yakikiki?
Is
Yeah.
is it the Akikiki or is it the Akikikikiki?
Maybe
The
it's
first one. They're
is
not
it
working on
yeah.
cloning it though.
I thought they were working on preserving some genetic material from it in the event that they did actually need to clone it.
I mean, I'm sure they're
Mm,
doing that for like any species that they have that
So we
might go
could do that with
extinct.
the Philippine eagle.
I think the cloning is way more complicated. Like they make it seem so simple, but I think it's way more complicated than the average person thinks.
So there's actually several
mm,
different ways of cloning things too. And it's not really what you think it is. And they usually, with the ways I think they most commonly use, need a surrogate animal. But they keep telling us they're going to have mammoths within 5 years, but
yeah.
it's been going on for 25 years.
Yeah, they've really been milking that one. But
Are
I
we
feel
going to
like
get a prehistoric park?
the thing about it is like I don't think it's good to like I almost feel like it'd be bad for conservation to have the option of cloning because then people are like, oh, let whatever species go extinct. We
Mhm.
can just clone
Yeah.
it. Like it's almost an excuse, you know.
Possible.
I wish
That
Mhm.
you
would
could see passenger pigeons. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or
They could
That'd be
potentially
Carolina
cool.
clone it.
parakeets.
Oh, Carolina parakeets would be awesome.
I swear that I read somewhere that the Zenata dove is actually a close match for passenger pigeon that they could use as a surrogate. I could be wrong on that. It could be some other dove. I
Mm.
thought that's what I read.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure
But
either.
like if they could do that, would it even be, I feel like it wouldn't be the same. It
So
would be like a
interesting that
representation.
you say that because there's another type of cloning where they essentially manipulate traits to appear more like whatever species it was. There's also an interesting thing where species, I don't know that much about this, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but species essentially, they say, re-evolve into a species that went extinct. So a specific subspecies goes extinct, but then that species develops the same subspecies again, essentially.
I'm assuming
So
it
like,
would take a really long time.
yeah. So like the heath hen, if
I think
wait,
the
is it?
heath hen, yeah, was one example they used.
Yeah. Wait, was that the greater or lesser prairie chicken subspecies?
I don't know,
I
actually.
thought it was greater. Maybe I'm wrong.
We're like definitely delving into a place where we don't
Yeah.
remember enough about any of this.
Yeah.
Need to do some research, and it looks like Derek's on it. I think there was some kind of rail species that they were talking about. It reappeared, but it reappeared in a different way. Like it wasn't the old species or subspecies. It was a new version of it, essentially.
It was a subspecies of the greater prairie chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, let's just not let anything go extinct.
Yeah.
I need to find out this information about the rail I'm talking about.
The rail you're talking about?
I think it was a rail.
Rails are funny.
Rails are funny.
Yeah. There's a rail. I was looking at some eBird things, and there's some eBird things, and there's a one kind of rail called the Inaccessible Island Rail.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a real thing?
Yeah. Pretty
That can't
funny.
be real, can it?
It looks
Dude,
looks
it
kind of like the
totally is
Black
a real
Rail.
thing.
Yeah.
What is this?
I wonder where it lives. I kind of want to check.
Endemic to Inaccessible Island in the Tristan Archipelago. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Funny bird names are the best.
That is a pretty funny one too.
I feel like I need to see this thing now.
Derek, you should change your bird name to Inaccessible Derek.
Showing the small flightless wings.
Wait, they can't fly?
Yeah, this must be like a... Wait.
Thick joke.
South Atlantic. It's the smallest extant flightless bird.
Wow. I wonder how they have so many pictures of it if it's an inaccessible island.
It must
Clearly, it's not inaccessible.
Yeah.
Or they're taking them from really long distance away.
Yeah. Or they're vagrants and they just swam.
That'd be a bold play, swimming across the ocean with a tiny flightless rail.
I mean, who wants to live on an island that's inaccessible?
It says this thrush preys on the chicks. That's tough.
Oh.
I like how they just have a picture of it. Like, look at this guy. He's ruining everything.
That's real rough. Looks kind of like the Black Rail.
It does kind of look like the Black Rail.
Probably.
I like how they have a map of it. Who created this map? It's like it has tiki bars and stuff on it.
I like how it's just a close-up of it. Like, this doesn't...
Yeah.
That's the map. I found the rail I was talking about. It's called the Aldabra Rail.
What about it?
The headlines say that it re-evolved itself back into existence. Derek, you need to stop this obsession with the inaccessible
island. I need to know where it is. Oh man.
That's oh wow.
That is
that is dude, this is not what I thought.
How did people even find that? I mean, satellites, I guess.
There can't be like, people don't go eBird here, right?
No. Look it up. While you're at it, roast Manny's eBird checklists.
He's just gonna have checklists from the one park.
No, I started eBirding like in November, so I don't have all my species. Definitely not.
There's 8 observations of this thing with 3 pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good percentage though of observation to picture ratio.
How is it only
we gotta find the 8 people who
they could all be the same person.
That's true.
Dude, this is a good picture.
Yeah, 71 ratings.
Wait, who is it? Brian Gratwickle.
Oh, same guy.
Brian Gratwick.
We need to get this guy on the podcast.
I
Yeah.
need to know about this bird.
That guy
Doesn't
looks
look
pretty
like there's much
ridiculous.
to know.
Yeah.
We're back to the
Yeah.
photo
It's
again.
not, well, it's not letting us look at, wait, okay.
Ooh, there's an
Oh,
inaccessible island
wow.
too.
Let's go. Wait, I wonder how many, wait, I'm gonna see how many inaccessible island birds there are.
Wait, can you pop open that inaccessible island finch photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same dude.
No,
Oh yeah,
there's only the finch and the rail.
Ah,
that's it.
Yeah. That's too
Man,
bad.
this is mind blowing right now.
I
There
want
could
to
have been like
find,
a whole colony of inaccessible birds.
If we get one Atlantic tsunami, that thing is not going to end well.
Yeah.
I don't know, it survived so far.
All right.
It
Well,
can't be like anyone going to
I
this place,
changed
right?
I changed my bird that I next want to see. Um.
Manny, you picked the bird on the
Oh yeah.
inaccessible island.
Oh yeah. It's I'm packing my bags. That's my next trip.
Your parents are gonna be
So
like, "How'd
not
the
only two
podcast?"
drives.
Your
Yeah.
parents are gonna be like, "How'd the podcast go?" You're gonna be like, "I want to go to inaccessible island."
They're like, so it didn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we should find someone who works on that species and talk to them.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to know everything about
Do
this
you think
bird.
anybody does
Uh,
work on that species, or do you think they're just leaving that one alone?
I have no idea.
well, they better, or else those thrushes are gonna
That's
take out their
true.
population.
How do they even know that? Who's doing these observations?
I don't know.
All right,
Like
I'm
an
looking up
inaccessible field
inaccessible
trip.
island research. Oh, it's a volcanic island. I guess that
Ah.
makes sense. Okay, here's a paper. That's going to tell us everything we need to know, boys.
All right.
Researchers find the origin of an isolated bird species on South Atlantic Island by wings or maybe riding on debris. That's how a now flightless and rare species of tiny bird likely got to Inaccessible Island.
Hmm.
Wait, it says needs a name change?
Hmm.
That's unfortunate. We need an inaccessible bird.
Yeah. It was first described in 1923. Maybe it just needs a scientific name change.
Yeah.
They're
I
gonna
hope
lump
so.
it.
It says we found obviously that the birds did not walk by foot. They flew or were assisted by floating debris.
All right, let's see how many species are on Inaccessible Island.
All right, Manny, hit me with the data.
All right. There's only hotspots. It's not a major region. It's not a region. So
Checks
there's
out.
only hotspots. The hotspot with the most species diversity is 20 species.
Can we get a rundown of those species?
Let's see. Oh, 28 species is in Inaccessible Island. So that's
What
Any
are we
notable
all?
species other than
Yeah.
the inaccessible named ones?
Is it? It's not like
let's see.
house sparrow, house finch.
I would hope not.
Well, we know that man-eating thrush is on there.
Yeah. It said new species this month. No birds reported yet during this time period.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Checklist leaders. There are 0 checklist leaders.
How is that possible?
Oh, Bill Boyle. One
Hmm.
checklist.
That's our guy.
One checklist. And yeah, 18 species. Let's look at his oh wow, he has 7,300 birds on his life list.
I
Wow.
imagine if you go to Inaccessible Island, you've probably done some traveling.
You've done
Yeah.
some things and you've seen some things that you probably wouldn't have preferred to have done or seen.
Yeah. I don't know if I can trying to find his checklist.
Like I said, I don't know if I can sleep
Pelagics
tonight
that
after
go
this.
there.
All right. Some species that he saw included brown skua, Antarctic tern, the anti-Arctic tern.
Hmm.
There we
The
go.
anti-Arctic tern.
All right. Mosley's rockhopper penguin. sooty albatross, Atlantic yellow-nosed albatross, black-browed albatross, grayback storm petrel, white-bellied storm petrel, Kerguelen petrel, soft-plumaged petrel, Atlantic petrel, McGillivray's pyron, white-chinned petrel, spectacled petrel, sooty shearwater, sub-Antarctic shearwater, Tristan thrush, and inaccessible island finch.
He must have been on a pelagic, right?
Yeah, must have.
You just
So he
spotted
found that thrush.
island.
That thrush was there though. So
I
were
feel
finches.
like that rail you're not going to get from a pelagic.
I wouldn't think
Yeah.
so.
But
It's
who
probably
knows?
blue skulky, not unlike the most beautiful warbler with the Connecticut.
Right. Did you say what you thought the most beautiful warbler was?
I think Blackburnian's the most beautiful warbler.
Mm.
But I also
Blackburnian's a
think
good one.
Cape May is a pretty good one. Black-throated blue is really nice. Cerulean's gorgeous.
Do you put cerulean over black or blue?
I do. I don't have a reason though.
You know what I saw the other day was I didn't see it, but I saw a picture of a cerulean and Northern Perula hybrid.
That probably looks sweet.
It was not as
Wow.
colorful as you might think, but it was kind of weird. It looked like a cerulean, but it had like some yellow, like on the,
Yeah.
and it
So
had
here's
like
what's
eye arcs.
Yeah. Blackneck
was gonna-
stilts and American avocets can hybridize.
Really?
Seriously?
It doesn't look nearly as cool as you would think. They
Dude,
have
it
some
sounds like
photos on
it's so
EBird.
cool.
That is weird. I had a phase a few weeks ago where I was just
I like how it was a
looking.
few weeks ago.
I was just looking at all of the hybrids I could find on the search photos and sounds thing on eBird, and I found some pretty weird things.
The hybrid ducks can be a little crazy.
Yeah, like mallard or not mallard. Northern pintail gadwalls are pretty cool.
The hooded merganser common goldeneye, I think, is usually.
Oh yeah. And there was I thought I saw bufflehead hooded merganser too.
Probably.
Which is weird.
Probably.
I'm assuming it's this fellow.
That looks good. You also may be interested to know that there's different subspecies of blackneck stilt, including a Hawaiian one, which is actually endangered.
Wow.
Was somebody researching blackneck stilts lately?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It was Manny.
I admit it.
Everything there is to know about blackneck stilts.
I was researching those behind everybody's back.
They also do something to ward off predators called a popcorn display when they jump around the predator making chirping noises to try and get rid of it.
Oh, cool.
Would that work?
I mean, oh yeah, I knew that. I knew that the entire time.
Imagine if people did that.
If a stilt did a popcorn display, would you get out of there?
I guess just out of respect, though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't scare me off. I would just be like, okay, man. All right.
Yeah.
I see you. I'll leave.
Yeah. Also back to those warblers. I feel like blue-winged warblers don't get enough credit.
They're pretty nice. It's a good warbler.
Yeah, I love their bright color yellow. It's awesome.
I really like yellow-throated warbler as well.
Well, the thing is, I don't know about yellow-throated because I get them so much down here, and I see them next to like northern Perulas, so like I'm not as hyped, and you guys don't have them there as much, but well, I get them regularly, so they're not as cool here.
I mean, northern Perula is a good-looking bird.
Yeah.
Manny, I feel like you're a very rarity-based fellow. You're like, that thing's rare, so I like it more.
That's true. That's okay, though.
Well,
that's how the world works.
For certain birds, but a few really not a few. I love a lot of the really common birds around here. Like robins, seriously don't get enough credit. I mean, they're literally thrushes with more color.
Oh, there. We say this all the time. There's so many bird species like red-winged blackbird. If that was rare, think how much people want to see that. Or even yellow-rumped warbler. If that's a rare warbler, people are all over that.
Oh yeah.
Blue jay.
True.
Oh, blue jay. Yeah, people would kill for a blue jay.
Yeah, blue jays are pretty sweet.
Well, I mean, I think you see that with cardinal in the West.
Yeah, that's true. Which I still love cardinals every time I see them because I always remember it's like a grosbeak that's bright red that just chills in your backyard.
That is a very
So
adequate description.
Yeah.
And it comes to your feeder late at night, like the ghoul that it is.
that's true.
No arguing with facts.
Manny, do you
Yeah.
think you're gonna grow up to do some kind of bird research someday? Study
Yeah.
inaccessible rails?
I definitely want to in college, but other than that, I want to do guiding when I get older
Nice.
Sweet.
At
rather
Inaccessible
than
Island.
other research like that.
Yeah, we need an
Yeah.
inaccessible island
Here,
guide.
I'll show you the 28 species that live here.
Somebody needs those to complete their list.
That's true. Peter, what's his name? Who just got
Peter
10,000
Caster.
species.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's been there.
I didn't see any
I
checklist
wonder.
with his name on it.
Yeah, me neither. Well, somebody needs to take him there, and
That's
I'm
true.
willing to do it.
Yep, you can do that. You can do Attu, Alaska.
You can
Yeah,
write
yeah.
the Birds of Inaccessible Island field guide.
Ooh,
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
probably should do that.
Maybe not even
Oh,
a
yeah.
guide, maybe a pamphlet.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
a
it'll just
flip
be
book.
on the back of the Africa field guide, just like a little section.
Does it belong to Africa or does it belong to South
Well,
America?
I don't know.
Can you
It
really
looks
own a
closer to
volcanic
Africa.
island?
Yes,
That's
you
true.
can.
Does it deserve its own field guide? That's the thing.
It does,
I
yeah.
bet it does.
I
It
think
does.
so.
There probably isn't one that exists, so you can base it off those
True.
18 birds that one guy saw.
That's true. All those shearwaters
No, it's
and
mostly
petrels.
shearwater.
Yeah.
So
But then there's
actually,
those thrushes too.
it was pretty cool because I got to talk to a lady named Rebecca who does like illustrations for stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it was cool to hear about and see like the process of drawing a bird for a field guide and like how you have to decide how much detail to add because you don't want it to be too complicated, but you want it to
Hmm.
show everything, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Tom Schultz is here too, who did field guide work as well.
Yeah.
Do you know Tom Schultz?
No, I don't.
He's walking.
You acted like you didn't know.
But
Like,
yeah.
Tom and I go way back. Of course we do. So we just went to the biggest week in American birding.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before?
I have not. I really want to though. At
Ryan,
some
he
point.
can't drive.
Yeah, but someone could have taken him there.
I feel like
That's true.
Indiana Dunes, I feel like would be your first festival.
Yeah. I haven't gone there either. I haven't gone to any birding festivals actually.
I think that you would like them because
Yeah.
everybody there has the same common interest. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
literally just go up to anyone and be like, "What are you seeing today?" And then you
Have
can
you-
Yeah,
start the
Have you
that
conversation.
heard
sounds
about the
awesome.
Inaccessible Island Rail? Well, let me tell you
Mhm.
about it.
Does Manny cheer for the Colts?
Yes, I do. I see you're rocking the Seahawks
The
t-shirt.
retro Seattle Seahawks shirt, but I cheer for the Packers.
Yeah.
Colts Packers.
They were
week
doing.
2.
Yeah, I love the Packers too. They're one of my favorite teams.
Beautiful, perfect.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice, sweet.
Yeah.
We can agree on that.
Yeah.
Connecticut Warbler is beautiful.
Gotta see the rail though.
I gotta see the rail.
Well, cool. Thanks for joining us, Manny. It was fun talking with you.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for
All right.
watching this episode of the Badgerland Birding Podcast.